Hi guys and welcome. Today we have this grade 9 question right here. We want to simplify this into its simplest form. But of course, before we start, feel free to pause the video, relax and give it a try first. If you're done, let's get right into it. In fact, to simplify this basically means that combine these three fractions. And to do that, the first thing you need to do is to ensure that the denominators are the same before we can easily combine them. So how can we make them the same? Before we do that, let's consider this denominator right here. We have m squared minus 1. Now this right here is basically difference of two squares, even though the square right here is not all that obvious because 1 squared is still 1, right? So we can rewrite this as m plus 1 times m minus 1, since this is difference of two squares. So what I'm going to do is that in place of this right here, I'm going to put this, right? So we're going to have m plus 1 times m minus 1. Then I will extend my division bar like this. Now, with the help of this one, we can actually change all these denominators to this, right? So what I'll do right here is that I'll keep the numerator of the first fraction, which is m plus 1. Then I'll put this in parentheses, divided by this right here. That is also m minus 1. Then I also put this in parentheses. Now check this. To make this denominator right here look the same as this one, I'm going to have to multiply this by this factor right here. So let me use the red marker. We're going to have m plus 1. Then remember, in fractions, whatever you do to the denominator side, you must do the same thing on the numerator side to keep the fraction in equivalence, right? So we're going to have m plus 1 also here. Then this time we have minus. I'll put the minus sign there. Then the numerator side we have m minus 1. I also put this in parentheses, divided by m plus 1. As simple as that. Let me extend the division bar a little bit. Cool. Now to make this one also look like this, I have to also multiply it by this right here. So we are also going to have m minus 1. Then the numerator side we do the same thing, just like that. Cool. Then this time we have plus 4 divided by, I also get rid of this quickly. So we are going to have 4 divided by m plus 1 times m minus 1. As simple as that. And this time around, we can see that the denominators are the same. Therefore, we can write one of them as the LCM, that is m plus 1 times m minus 1. And check this, we have m plus 1 times m plus 1. So we can basically write this as m plus 1 all squared and then try to expand. And in expanding this, we are basically going to have m squared plus 2m plus 1. Cool. So in place of this, I'm going to put m squared plus 2m plus 1 for the whole of this right here. Then check this, we have minus. In fact, this minus right here is affecting everything here. So I'll just put the minus sign there, put parentheses indicating that it's affecting everything, right? Now check this again, we have m minus 1 times m minus 1, which also means that this time we are going to have m minus 1 squared. Now, if we simplify this one, we are going to have exactly the same as this one, just that this is also going to be negative. That is, if you expand this. And if you don't want this approach, you can basically do it this way, m minus 1 times the exact same thing, right? You take this, multiply by the whole of this. Then after that, you take this, multiply by the whole of this. Then lastly, you simplify. And if you do that, you are going to end up getting this right here. That is m squared minus 2m plus 1. Then lastly, we have plus 4 right there. And this time round, we can distribute this negative, right? So we are going to have m squared plus 2m plus 1. Then we are distributing this negative. We are going to have m squared plus 2m minus 1. Then plus this right here, which is 4. Great. Then all divided by m plus 1 times m minus 1. As simple as that. And clearly we see that negative m squared will take away this positive m squared. Then we have plus 1 here minus 1. They will also leave. Check this. We have 2m plus 2m. That is basically going to give us 4m, then plus 4 right here. So I'm going to put the 4 there nicely, divided by everything here, which is m plus 1 times m minus 1. As simple as that, right? Now, this implies that, in fact, we can actually factor out 4 right here, so that we are going to have 4 times m plus 1 divided by m plus 1 times m minus 1. Now, what do we see right here? We can clearly see that, let me get rid of this, of course. We can clearly see that the whole of this will cancel out that. And finally, we are going to be left with 4 divided by m minus 1. And this is the final answer. Of course, this is in its simplest form. We cannot do anything to this again. So basically, that is how to go by it. I believe you found the video useful. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more, and see you again on the next video. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.